Shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, blessing, and safety to all the Akim out there pushing this truth throughout the four corners of the earth. The sincere believers of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom. This is the brother, the W, coming back at you with another one. And yesterday at camp, we were, we were getting into the topic of just, you know, time of Jacob's trouble and how you don't, how we don't know, where we're gonna be and you know, what we're gonna eat or no, we don't know how we're gonna get to it, but we do know that. Through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai, that those men that resist our temptation, that don't give in into Esau and believe in Yahweh Shem Shai, the Lord is gonna protect us. He's gonna be with us because it has been promised. He promised us that that's what He would do. So we are not to fear. We're not to fear of the things that are to come. Because we understand what's going to happen. What's going to last down. So I'll start off with Jeremiah 30:6, and it reads, "Pass ye now and see whether a man does travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness." Because the time of Jacob's trouble is going to be a very serious time. A lot of people out here, you the pride that people have right now, they're going to be humbled, you know, because of the things that are going to be going on. It's it's going to be a time like never before. Verse 7, at last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but ye shall be saved out of it. So even though it's going to be a time like never before, it's going to be a time like never before that has ever been recorded in history. Things that are going to be going on during Jacob's trouble, that people are going to be in disbelief, and that is why men are going to be, you know, they're going to have that look of just disbelief and just being utter shock. And let's not even get started on the women because I just showed you like the scripture is not, it's not saying why do they see every man and woman, even though we know women are going to get through it. But we know women are the weaker vessel. So if men are out here looking like looking like they're in labor pains, it really puts a picture to the time to the time that and what's going to just be going on. It's going to be crazy, and only the elect are going to be saved through it. We truly believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua that He's going to do so. He's going to perform miraculous miracles. One of the brother said yesterday, like you may have a water, you know, the Lord may have it where you have a water bottle that just never runs out of water. As you drink, it just it just refills itself, and that's the type of you know supernatural things that are going to be taking place during this time, And that's the mind state that we have to be in, you know, approaching these times. We are to not to be, fearful or scared, but that, but 100% trust in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, that he's gonna watch over us, he's gonna guide us, and the ones of us that have little seeds, little children, the Lord is gonna watch over them and protect them, because we know, you know for me, you know it's you sometimes you may think about what's gonna happen to you, but me personally, I because I have a young child, I more think about him, you know, and and yeah, it's a scary thought. It's a scary thought because we understand it's going to be a scary time, but that's where the Spirit just comforts us, and believing that that the Lord will take care of them, because we may not be, in the midst of Jacob's trouble, we may not be, with our families, you know. We may not even, you may not even get to see them during this time. And that's heavy on the heart. But that's where that's where we have to be bold and be strong in this thing, and realize that the Lord he guards us, and he's gonna watch over our little ones. you we're gonna be saved out of this time. This is John 14 and 27. Surrender. So Yahushua speaking. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, I give unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. So we are not to be afraid of of what's to come, and what we may have to endure and encounter, you know, to just you know, put that trust in you. How about Shem Yahshai? It says, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you." Because while chaos is going through, while chaos is going on, while while you know bodies and death and severe judgment are happening, you know, throughout the four corners of the earth, the elect are going to have that peace of mind, that peaceful spirit, understanding that with all this going on, it's nothing but prophecy, and it's a sign that that is going to show us that that we are almost at the end, we're almost at the end of this rulership, of Esau's rulership, and that Yahweh Shai is he's at the door. He's he's coming back to save us and to deliver us out of this hellhole, you know, because this place, it sucks. It sucks. Everything is just garbage, trash. Even today, it's a beautiful day. Today, I went for a walk with my son, and man, I'm just like we're like walking in the park, and just everything, like in the midst of of being in nature, there's fucking trash everywhere. You look at the lake and the little rivers, and the water's just dirty. It stinks. Like, that's why we gotta get the hell up out of here. We gotta get out of. We want the Lord to fix up this place, because it's just it's just not it. It's just not it. I just imagine doing that same kind of walk, but within the kingdom. You streets of gold, and beautiful fresh air, and where you don't have to, because as I'm walking, like I'm holding my son's hand. Imagine, because you don't know what's around, you know, and just imagine just letting him run free, and not having to worry that anything bad or any harm is gonna come upon him. You know, that's why we want the kingdom. That's just a little side thought. This is Isaiah 41 and 10. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy power. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee, yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. So we're not to be, know, don't be, don't be we're not to be, troubled, you know, when when we think about, the times that we're going into. It's beautiful to see everything that's happening around us and realizing that the prophecies are speeding up, and this is just all building us up, towards the time of Jacob's trouble, when we're gonna have to lose everything for the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. We're not gonna be discouraged, or get down on ourselves, but stand upright, and with our head held high, and trusting and believing that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is with us, in the midst of all the chaos. His right hand, is gonna, hold us up, keep us from stumbling, keep us from falling. And yes, and every brother is gonna go through, their different journey, their different battle. They're gonna go through their loss, their ups and their downs, and the fearful, close encounters. But Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is gonna be with us in the midst of all of that. This is Isaiah 65 and 13 in the NLT. Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua says: My servants will eat, but you will starve. My servants will drink, but you will be thirsty. My servants will rejoice, but you will be sad and ashamed. So, the Lord is, telling us that, we're gonna eat, we're gonna drink, while everyone else out here is, is robbing, stealing, killing, bugging out, to you know to gain things, or to get stuff. The Lord is gonna provide for us, just like I was saying before about the water bottle, like maybe having a water bottle, and it not running low, you know, and so someone may see that, and be in disbelief, just just say, and say that person gets a hand on that water bottle and they try to drink it, and no water comes out of it, you know, because it was only meant for the elect, you know, and that's how we gotta think of things. We're gonna drink, we're gonna be taken care of during the time of Jacob's trouble. My servants will sing of joy, but you will cry in sorrow and despair. Because we're gonna be praising Yahweh Shai in the midst of all the chaos. while two-thirds and everyone else is gonna be cursing, gonna be cursing out the Most High, or praying to their praying onto their false idols and their false gods, and wondering why their prayers are not being answered, you know, when they need it most. That's because Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is not with them. He was never with them, and in this time, it's gonna be it's gonna be known, who the Lord, you know, who's the Lord's elect because of that hedge of protection that's gonna surround them and give them that comfort and and help them get through, the many things, the many tests that are gonna come. And yes, we understand, some of us, are gonna, maybe put to death, you know, some of us are gonna, be be that sacrifice, you know, for the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. We understand all of that. But, we're not we're not we're not scared. We understand what has to be done in order for the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushua to be glorified. And his name is going to be glorified. This is Matthew 6:25 in the NLT. This is why I tell you not to worry about everyday life, whether you have enough food and drink or enough clothes to wear. Isn't life more than food and your body more than clothing? Look at the birds. They don't plant or harvest or store foods in barns, for your heavenly Father feeds them. And aren't you far more valuable to him than they are? So that's why we're not to worry. Not to worry about tomorrow. All, all worry does is bring stress. And you know, and even myself, I'm learning to to worry less. You I was just, you know, I was gonna have to maybe go through a situation, um, next week that would have, made things very, difficult and tough. And and instead of worrying about it every day, I just, pray to the Lord that, whatever outcome would happen, that, he would, have mercy upon me, and just, help me get through it. So, instead of instead of, being down and worrying so much, I just, kind of put it in his hands, just, send my prayers, and kind of just waiting on the outcome. Today I found out that, you know, what was going to happen, what I thought was going to happen, isn't going to happen at all. So, it was, a sigh of relief. And, I gave all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, that, that he was merciful, that he was merciful, that, I wasn't going to have to, you know, go through that certain situation. So the Lord, he's really looking out for us in many different ways. And it's it's great. It's just really great, how the Lord is how the Lord is just, just building us up for harsher and tougher times. It's Ecclesiasticus chapter 33 and 1. There shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord, but in temptation, even again, he will deliver him. So even in the midst of that temptation, when everyone's going to be lining up, taking that chip, you know, in order for things to be easy, the Lord is going to put the Spirit on us. So we know we're not doing that. We'd rather die than take that chip. We understand, and taking that chip, you might as well, you're already dead. You're dead because you're gonna be dead dead to the Lord. So it's like it's a no-brainer, and that's why we're mentally preparing ourselves to lose everything. You know, we may lose our women, we may lose our kids, homes. You know, we're very well gonna lose our homes, and ain't gonna be ain't gonna have a car, or whatever the case may be. But we understand that however this plays out with them mandating the chip, we know we're not gonna take it. The elect are not gonna take it. The elect are gonna put that faith and trust in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, and not put that trust in man and Esau and in the system. Even in the midst of temptation, the Lord is gonna deliver us. So that's gonna do it for this video. I give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. I pray this lesson was edifying. Lord willing, till the next one, Shalom.